Be welcome to the virtual tour of Telde City, promoted by the P5 Paraje team of La Garita. We will guide you through history and culture of this magnificent city. Telde is located at the east of the Gran Canaria island and has approximately 120,000 inhabitants. Today, we will visit the Basilica of St. John Baptist. Let's go! San Juan. Here in San Juan we can find two squares, La Plaza de Abajo, Lower Square, previously called Alameda, due to the presence of poplars, which were lost. Later, Indian laurels were brought, which we can see now. About the floor, we can mention that the slab is from Vietnamese stonemason and previously it was stonemason from Arucas brought in 1925. The Plaza de Arriba, now called a square church or square of St. John, in the middle of both, moreover to being separated by a step. There is a street that currently collects on its floor that the name of most important neighborhoods in the city. This street in ancient times, which was of great relevance, helped as a union between the dock of the port and the center of the city.
When we talk about the city of Telde, we can talk about two conquests or foundations. The first, dating for the 14th century by Majorcan, and the second in the 15th century by the Knights of Andalusia. The first of them is known that Majorcan people disembarked in the east of the island in the port of Melanara or Gando and entered 4 kilometers inland where they settled. By papal order, the place they chose as a settlement had to be established as a city, so they could not be slaves of anyone but citizens. It was there where the city of Telde was founded, and as a representation of this achievement, they built a tower called the Torre de la Conquista, that was located where the right tower of the Basilica is currently located. This tower was protected by a wall as a fortress. A part of it is still being preserved. This is the oldest element of Telde. After the second conquest, the founder, Hernán García del Castillo, ordered the construction of the Basilica of San Juan. It is built from the tower that had already existed. The first basilica was built of stone and clay with a roof of tiles, but it was a fragile material and for this reason it collapsed. It was then when Cristóbal García del Castillo ordered to build the basilica in the 16th century. Getting close to the facade, we can find several elements. The basilica is built in Gothic style, and the side towers are in Neo-Gothic style. The door is made of wood called tea and reinforced with bronze symbols. The knocker is a symbol of the Middle Ages. It is made of bronze and represents, with these two entwined snakes, the union of good and evil, seeking balance and to symbolize the protection of evil from the place of worship. If it had been knocked for 3 times, anyone would have found asylum inside the basilica. We also find in the locks the image of the double-headed eagle that represents the reign of Charles V of Austria and I of Germany.
Around the arc of the entrance, we find tassels that are representative of the castle monarch. It can also be interpreted as mentioning bells, such as those in the shoes of court jesters, whose mission was to attract the attention of their majesties. Likewise, these bells attract the attention of people to the house of God. We also find the Vatican Shield. What can it mean? The Basilica is an embassy of the Vatican. It has political immunity. When we are inside, we are on the Vatican land, not in Spain. In the tower on the left, we can see the clock that, like the bell tower, was brought from London in 1886.
Now accompany me to the interior of the basilica. We will start with the picture of Anima. This painting is by an unknown author, dates from the 16th century. The purpose of this type of work that was donated to the church was to reduce the penalty of sins committed by a member of the family. We can see in its lower part a representation of the purgatory, where warm colors predominate. Souls are waiting for the purification granted by the Archangel Michael, which can be seen in the central part of the painting. At its side we can find the gates and the road to the heaven. Finally, in the upper part, we find the representation of the heavenly kingdom. This painting presents a peculiarity. It is one of the few pictures of Anima where the devil is represented lower, characterized by bulging eyes and a mouthful of sharp teeth.
Triptych of the Adoration of the Shepherds. This piece comes from Liège, dates from 1535, and recent studies established Lambert Lombard as its author, a famous flamenco painter. It was donated by Cristóbal García del Castillo. It consists of 3 panels. On the left side of the table, we see the announcement of Angel Gabriel to Maria, communicating her pregnancy. In its central part, we observe how the shepherd rendered adoration to the newborn Jesus. On your right, we find the adoration of Christ by the 3 wise men. The main altarpiece. The main altarpiece, donated by Hernán García, is composed of 3 niches, where we can appreciate the images of Saint Peter Martyr of Verona. This saint is represented with an X on his head, a dagger in his heart, and a palm branch in his left hand, representing his martyrdom. Saint John the Baptist, patron saint of this basilica, who is pointing with one hand at the lamb, symbolization of the lamb that takes away the sin of the world, Christ, and with another hand to heaven. Holy Christ of the waters. Why has the Holy Christ this name? The story tells that they were preparing the Christ to take him by ship from Mexico to Seville on request when the ship sank near to the coast of Telde. It was made in the 16th century and it's built with maize cob and with a thin wooden frame that gives it a very light weight, 3.8 kilograms and 6 kilograms with the cross. The cross is not the original one. It is made of wood from the Canary Island pines and covered with silver leaf.
The altarpiece of the life of the Virgin Mary. Now we will talk about the altarpiece representing the life of the Virgin Mary. This altarpiece is in the central part of the main altarpiece. This piece of great artistic quality is made of oak, veneered with gold leaf, and represents 6 scenes of the life of Mary. The Annunciation of the Angel Gabriel to the Virgin, the marriage of Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph, visitation of Mary to her cousin Isabel, who was pregnant by Saint John Baptist, the birth of Jesus, circumcision, and the adoration of the Magi. Retable of the Virgin of the Rosary. In this altarpiece, we find 3 niches where we can see the images of Virgen del Rosario, Our Lady of the Rosary, patron of the battles, San Nicolás de Tolentino, Saint Nicolás of Tolentino, and San Mauro, saint patron of feet and hands.
And now we will continue with the baptistry. In this place we can find the baptism pipe. It is made of marble, but it is not the original. The original one is placed in Barseguillo's church and it is made of green glazed pottery from Andalusia. Its value is significant economically and historically since it was used to baptize several Aborigines who surrendered in the face of the imposed Christianism. On the walls, we can appreciate paintings made by Jesus Arencibia. Well, here is where our virtual tour concludes. I hope you have enjoyed it. See you soon!